Hello, hello, and welcome once again. J76NY here. We are playing Suzerain. This is our douchebag playthrough. We are about to attend our inaugural ball. The way I'm playing this is you're given a series of choices in terms of your interaction with people. I'm going to pick the most abrasive one whenever the chance presents itself, which it hasn't really done so far. Anton's going to be a degenerate. He's just going to be all about himself, all about his own personal wealth and power. So really seeing some differences in the outcomes of my choices on the direction the story's taken from my first playthrough. So I'm really, really excited to see how things go and see how long we can make it. And see what the effect on Sordland itself is going to be. Let's go to the inaugural ball. I had just finished buttoning up my suit jacket when the doorbell rang. The Presidential Guard had arrived to pick us up for the inaugural ball. The ball was a 3-decade-old tradition, breathlessly anticipated by politicians, bureaucrats, and the press. All eyes were about to be on me. I called on Monica to get the children ready. Looking in the mirror, I straightened my tie and took a deep breath. Tonight there would be no turning back. Not sure why this didn't happen earlier. I thought it happened earlier than this, but we've made policy choices and budget decisions already, and now we're going to the inaugural ball, but whatever, it is what it is. Suddenly, Deanna hugged me from behind, startling me a little. Monica had fixed her hair into an elaborate braid, woven through with ribbons. That's Deanna, my daughter. Papa, Mama told me it's time to go. Hello, darling, I am ready. Where's your brother? Tell your mother I will be ready soon. Can't wait to see the palace. Almost time to leave. The big ball was starting in less than an hour. Enough fussing around, let's get the move on. Monica came down the stairs. She was wearing a simple yet elegant beige sheath dress and short heels. Her hair had been neatly pinned into a chignon, showing off her pearl earrings I had given her for her 15th anniversary. All those years she had stayed by my side. Now we were about to begin the most challenging chapter in our lives yet. How do you do, Mr. President? Stand there and look at her. There we go. I looked her up and down. Where the hell is Frank? Frank! There we go. That seems... Frank rushed down the stairs. I'm here, I'm here. Frank tugged at the collar of his new tuxedo. He seemed ill at ease. Are you good to go, Frank? I'm glad to have you with us for the big night, and don't make me wait again. I'm here now, aren't I? I'm not joking, son. Frank looked at the floor sullenly. Papa, are these people going to be around us from now on? Pointed at the Presidential Guard at the door to the house. Yes, Sordland's most important family needs extra protection. Unfortunately, yes, they can't leave our side until my term ends. You'll get used to it. However, these people are our friends. Now, most important person in Sordland needs his bodyguard. We're here to make sure nothing bad happens to your papa or his family. Monica held Deanna's hand. Together, flanked by the guards, we walked out the door. Halfway to the car, Frank stopped abruptly and turned towards me. Dad, do I really have to go? Couldn't I stay home instead? I'm nervous myself, Frank, but I feel a lot more confident with my son by my side. It's a party thrown for me. Don't you want to support your father? I love it, son. I'm sure there'll be plenty of pretty girls today. Or don't make me angry. Don't make me angry. Frank fell silent first. Fine. Sorry. Got that over with, Frank? Let's go. The car is waiting for us. We're creating a complex school. Maybe a presidential shoot. Who knows? Who knows where this story will go? Presidential Guard showed us the way as red and blue lights flashed around us. Serge, my driver, who I'm going to have a hard time being a dick to, because he's a really nice guy, ushered us to our armored limousine. The motorcade started moving towards the palace. I gazed out the windows. Anton, what are you thinking about? Nothing. Nice car, isn't it? With all that's been happening, I'm wondering if I made the right choice. I was thinking that we've come a long way together. Nothing. Nice car. I know you have a lot on your mind, but you deserve to relax tonight. Just remember, no matter what happens, the children and I will always be there for you. See about that. I'm going to help Papa fix everything. Frank rolled his eyes. No, you will. On to that cutesy bullshit. Serge rolled down the limousine soundproof partition. You're here, sir. Hope you enjoyed the drive. Odd. Serge opened the door for me. The normally imposing palace was festooned with garish banners that nearly made it look cheerful. A line of shiny luxury sedans stretched around it. Politicians, bureaucrats, and celebrities, the creme de la creme of the Sordland elite, streamed inside the building. Luck out there, Mr. President. Bye. I stepped out and immediately found myself surrounded by loud voices and camera flags. Hordes of eager journalists thrust their portable microphone my way. The reporter. My guards fended most of them off, but one woman managed to dodge them and corner me. I recognized the Swedish Broadcasting Company logo on her press line. President, Mr. President, we plan on working together with the opposition parties on the expected constitutional reforms. My administration will bring real change. This night is for celebration. I'm not talking to anyone about my policies now. The opposition is willing to support us. We're going to work with everybody. Give her this one. If they support me, I'll work with them. Mr. Richter clarified that as long as you support their demands of democratization, they will work with you on all issues with a cooperative spirit. What do you think about this statement? I cannot comment since I haven't seen his statement yet. Honestly, I don't expect much from him. That'd be the thing to say, but it might not be the best thing. I'll just keep silent on it. One more question. One of your first acts as president was to sign a campaign finance law allocating public election funds by seats in the assembly as opposed to number of votes. This is a deliberate attempt to defund the Communist Party and the Blue Diaz Workers' Party, neither of which have received the election threshold. I've had it with your questions. Guards. That's enough, ma'am, said one of the guards while nudging the reporter away from me. The path through the crowd was now open. We quickly made our way to the entrance of the palace. At the same time, a dozen fireworks went. The entrance was decorated with beautiful ribbons in Sordland's colors of white, yellow, and maroon. Lush maroon carpet had been rolled down the stairs. We entered the lobby and joined the throngs of people making their way towards the ballroom. Behind me, I heard a familiar voice. There you are, the most beautiful family in Sordland. Uncle Peter. Hi, Uncle Peter. Great to see you. You two are growing faster than I am getting wiser. Are you sure you've gotten any wiser, Peter? Maybe not. After all, I'm still sticking with you. Ouch. Happy to see a familiar face, Peter. Evelyn? Peter's wife, Evelyn, approached us and shook our hands with a firmness that belied her delicate features. Yep. Congratulations, Anton. I have to say, the results were clear to me from the beginning. Appreciate it, Evelyn. It means a lot. Thank you. We both worked hard to make it happen. I wish I was as sure as you. There's a woman behind every successful man. You both worked hard to make it happen. We know you did. You deserve the position. And tonight, we reap the rewards. Let's see. We could start by getting some drinks. Read my mind. Peter grinned and beckoned a roving waiter. The four of us each took a glass of champagne. Hanukkah, how are you? You've barely said a word. I'm more than relieved to have this roller coaster ride over. But of course, now the real work begins. Oh yes, managing the help, planning parties, daily trips to the salon to look your best for foreign dignitaries. Bit bitchy with my wife. Don't be so old-fashioned, Evelyn. I plan to use my power as First Lady to advance the position of women throughout Sordland. Equal rights for our sex are long overdue. Wouldn't you say, Anton? I already know which one I'm going with. Burn the roast. I saw that in my first playthrough. I really wanted to pick it, but I think that's what made me decide to do this one. Was I just wanted to pick that. Don't burn the roast. Know your place, right? I mean, this is the 50s after all. Leave it to Beaver and all that shit. Peter laughed loudly. Monica and Evelyn both glared at us, and awkward silence descended. True colors are starting to come out, Anton. Deanna suddenly jumped in between us and tugged on my sleeve. Here we go? I want to see the ballroom. We're having a conversation here, Deanna. Turned away in disappointment. That's all right. We need to go anyway. It's already time. To the ballroom. She shut me up. President or not, standard rules still apply. Inside, we were yet again surrounded by a noisy crowd, but this time it was the politicians who sought to appease the new authority in Sordland. I spent the next few hours shaking hands, joining various conversations, some serious, some superficial, and making speeches. We finally settled down at our dinner table with the Vectorns as the band started playing some slow jazz tune. Oof, that was tiring. Another drink? Well, suddenly a loud banging noise echoed from outside the ballroom, then another one, and another. Musicians stopped playing. Everyone in the room was looking around in confusion. Peter and I turned towards each other, realization dawning on both our faces. Fireworks. No, gunshots. As soon as Monica heard the word, she lunged from her seat. Down. Anton, the kids, Monica, Deanna, and Frank all looked at me beseechingly, rushed to shield them. Papa, what's happening? I knew it. Never should have gone. Chaos broke out as some guests flung themselves under their tables and others ran towards the door screaming. Deanna burst into tears while Frank tried to comfort her, hiding the fear in his own eyes. 3 more gunshots rang out loudly. President, are you all right? He is the chief of police. The chief of police. As soon as he had made it to us and saw that we were unharmed, he let out a big sigh of relief. God, what the hell is going on? Status report. Check the perimeter. Status report. Sit rep. 1 second, Mr. President. Turned around quickly to his men. Check the perimeter now. Paul, Jansen, follow my lead. We will bring them to the safe room. Now turned to Monica, Evelyn, and the children, and spoke in a softer voice. Do not worry, the situation is now under control. Please follow me. We promptly followed Carl through the winding halls and corridors of the palace. Men still had their guns drawn, which did nothing to ease the tension. On the way, Peter made an attempt to break the silence. What a fucking night. You shut your mouth for a bit? Carl turned to us with a serious face as we were about to round a corner. Quiet, please. Sorry, I talk when I get nervous. Peter, shut up! Everyone's telling him to shut up. He's kind of a clown. My last playthrough, stuff happened. Go watch it. And he ended up jumping off a bridge. Carl flipped a switch on the wall, and a panel opened, revealing a hidden staircase leading to a large reinforced door. Basically a safe room. Small security monitors were on the walls, displaying grainy footage. There was a boardroom and a pantry containing enough provisions to last months. Carl stepped away from us and made a few radio calls. When he was done, he returned to me and Peter. So tell me, Carl, do I have clowns for a security force? Are we under attack? Who's attacking us? What's going on? Not the best inaugural ball I've been to. Start insulting the men that are going to protect me. As I raised my voice, he lowered his head in respect. No, sir. And tell me how the circus show happened in my ball. The room went quiet. Peter seemed like he was about to say something, but with one look for me, he stopped. I'm sorry, sir. I will personally conduct the investigation into our palace security force once we figure out what is going on. I can assure you I will be relentless in dealing with incompetence. You better, for your sake. Temper, Anton. Deanna started crying again because of my yelling. As you command, sir. That's it. That's right. Carl's radio suddenly crackled to life. Every second felt like an eternity as he pressed his ear to the receiver. When it fell silent, he turned to us. Good news. We are not in any danger at the moment. The situation has been dealt with, and the perimeter has been secured by the guards and the police. He glanced towards Monica, Evelyn, and the kids. If I may, sir. He gestured toward a more private corner of the room and started speaking more quietly. This is what we know so far. We have confirmed that 2 people were gunned down in front of the palace. The attacker is one of them, and we have reason to believe he was working alone. He fired 3 shots at an MP, 1 to the head, 2 to the body, instantly killing him. Presidential guards at the palace immediately shot and killed the attacker. He was not been identified yet and will require an investigation. The MP that was killed was identified as Bernard Circus. Bernard Circus is a Swedish poet, novelist, and MP. He's from Dyer too, just like me. He joined the Red Youth during the Swedish Civil War. Led Sordland after the war was over, surviving the purge of Turken soul. He moved to United Cantana. Sociology of the Communist University of Yao. First communist elected to the Grand National Assembly. Right? This is huge, Anton. This will cause a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Peter pulled out 2 cigarettes and handed me one. He then turned to Evelyn. I could hear him trying to reassure her that everything was going to be alright. Monica was still trying to tend to Deanna and Frank. Paced the room, mumbling that we should have stayed home. As Frank paced the room, mumbling, Peter, old friend, what the hell have we gotten ourselves into? Smoke alone. As I continued smoking, a peculiar calm washed over. I was going to see this through, at all cost. Brushed the cigarette on the ashtray. Here we go. News of the day. Sordland today. President Rayne signaled a possible cooperation with Franz Richter of the PFJP ahead of the inaugural ball. Regarding the remarks of Richter about a possible cooperation to fix the current problems of Swedish political institutions, the President chose to make no comment. Sordland has been shocked by grave news today as an elected member of the Parliament has been shot dead in a suspected political assassination. Police sirens were heard around the clock today as the Holsword police force increased security measures around the capital. The fact that such a violent act happened at the heart of the capital during the new president's inauguration ceremonies has worried many citizens. The Red Youth has reported to have promised revenge. It seems like it has the potential to be a spark that would swirl Sordland into the political violence of the 20s. Alright, that's the news for now. Alright, so before we go forward here, the Young Swords and the Red Youth, I believe that's what they're called. How is it? Yeah, the Red Youth and the Young Swords are kind of opposition factions, I guess you could say. Gangsters, well, troublemakers they are. We did join the Young Swords in the beginning of the playthrough, so that is where our allegiances are going to lie going forward. And we'll have to make choices in terms of these two groups. The Young Swords are going to kind of get preferential treatment, not going to lie, going forward. Read the report from Whole Sword. Security measures at the Capitol have been heightened after the murder of Bernard Circus. The mayor of Whole Sword reports that everything is under control. Security around the Maroon Palace has been increased with the combined efforts of the Whole Sword Police and the Presidential Guard. Okay. Emergency meeting in the situation room, which is gloomy. Now we get to meet more people. This is my Minister of Defense. I'm the Minister of Justice. Mia Morgana and Joseph Lancia. The cabinet members were gathered to discuss the shooting outside the palace. Police presented the initial reports. Bernard Circus was shot dead at 9:03 p.m. in front of the palace gates. He was an elected independent member of Assembly and, as you know, a famous communist. Spat the last word out with some distaste. The guards at the scene were 50 meters away, immediately took action by responding and killing the assailant, who was identified as the member of the nationalist organization Young Swords. That's our right-wing nationalist political organization that we were a member of. The president and his family were unharmed, praise God. What was the motivation of such a horrid act? Why Bernard Circus? I wasn't the target. Fortunately, yes, you were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Our security forces have no reason to believe anyone has motivation to act against the president now. Our investigators are suspecting a political assassination since the Young Swords have been threatening the communists for some time. This sets a dangerous atmosphere where the left versus the right political violence of the 20s might spark once again. Return to those days would be devastating. Coups are the reason why our country stagnated for decades. Mia Morgana, the Minister of Justice, sighed. Red Youth has condemned the killings, but didn't stop there. They promised revenge. This will in turn spark further aggression from the Young Swords. The whole cycle started because Bernard Circus pressed his veto, not simply. He had always been one of the only members of the Justice Ministry truly deserving of the name. He had survived countless attacks on her character, while fighting corruption within the ministry and rising to power had compounded her sense of duty. Freedom of expression is part of our Constitution. We can't have anyone, let alone an MP, shot for voicing. Want to make a bet? I fully agree we should protect freedom of speech. The Malianist ideology that the Red Youth promotes poses threats to our country too. Cautious. Or the nationalist Young Swords have overstepped, and they should be put under the loop. Extreme action. I'm gonna put this on the Red Youth. Agreed, and we are always watchful of internal threats like the banned Communist Party members who are supportive of similar agendas with the Red Youth. These groups wouldn't resort to unconventional means if they were represented in our assembly. Higher electoral threshold bans are making these factions extreme. Minister of Defense Joseph Lancia grunted in disapproval. He towered over the rest of us in military uniform, his many war medals conspicuous on his display. He was my commanding officer when he turned back those refugees from Wayland. Don't be stupid, woman. I could hear him say that. These organizations speak against the state. Labor Union of Sordland is also in the same boat. Wouldn't be surprised if United Cantana had a hand in supporting all of them. May cause some problems. I want to trade with them. Oldest NGO non-government organization, if you didn't know. Sordland, its current spokesperson, Rena Hort. Heard her before. Well, that's new. Should refrain from making the issue a political one from the start. Only add fuel to the fire. It is political, though, isn't it? Yes, but we need to calm the country. Take sides, we could escalate the situation further. There aren't many sides. State versus its enemies. Several police cars rushed past the Maroon Palace and everybody went silent. Regardless, a full investigation on all involved parties is underway. We will find the subversives and punish them soon enough, Mr. President. I'll do my best to help coordinate the administrative tasks for Vector. Justice will be served and the rule of law will return to this country stronger than ever. Only if we stay vigilant as a country, must think about the upcoming budget. It's too soon to jump to conclusions. Reckless acts will have dire consequences. Internal stability must be maintained. Our security funding might need to be increased. Any threat to our power must be dealt with as soon as possible. Any direct attack against the government and our people is a serious concern, but we don't know enough to act yet. And took some notes after checking the latest newspapers and reports. Seems that the tensions between the communists and nationalists will escalate further. It will be very difficult to pass any meaningful change if there is a chaos in the country. Whoever's against the state is an enemy. Will prevail. We are here to stay. This will be it for today then. We will convene again soon. Thank you all and keep us updated. Meeting concluded and the ministers left the room with concerned looks. Hard to anticipate what would happen next. Lockhaven Times. Murder at the palace. Shocking photographs have been linked to the press showing blood dripped stairs of the... Okay, what's next? A few days later... Okay, here we are. Lots of stuff to attend. A lot of stuff to do. Here. Read the report from Wholesale. Dinner with the family. Briefing on the threats against Sordland. Have dinner with the family. For a long day at the palace, I was finally home. Thanked Serge and walked through the front gates, nodding at the two guards as I went by. Even as I turned the doorknob, I could hear Deanna rushing downstairs to greet me. Opened the door and there she was, standing in front of me with expectant eyes. Papa, you're home. Lift and hug her. I lifted Deanna up and hugged her while trying to put the keys in the tray next to me. Why do I need keys? She was growing fast. Lifting her up was no longer as easy as it once was. Mother. Mama's in the kitchen making dinner. Roast? Is it burned? Put her down and her expression turned serious. Papa, are the bad men gone? Yeah, I took care of it. Don't worry. Deanna dashed down the hallway. Mama, Papa's here. Monica appeared next to the kitchen door. She was wearing an apron and holding a spatula. Deanna, what did I tell you? No running in the house. Yes, Mama. Monica approached me and kissed me on the cheek. Analyzing smell wafted from the kitchen behind her. It's for dinner. Hello to you, too, Anton. It's almost done. Making your favorite. You mean? Yes. Habla. Dabla was one of my hometown specialties. Chickpea stew topped with beef braised in tomatoes and Persian spices. Traditionally served in a clay pot. Doesn't sound good at all. Oh, maybe. Take out the chickpeas. The pot. It's absolutely my favorite dish, especially paired with kebi, potent unfiltered wine from my region. Where's the kebi? Where's the booze? What, you and Peter didn't booze it up enough back at the palace? Anyway, I just wanted to cheer everyone up a bit. Her smile faded and she lowered her voice so Deanna wouldn't hear, especially what happened after the ball. I'm worried, Anton, for you, for the children, and for our country. Deanna suddenly appeared next to us. Mama? Yes, sweetheart. Hungry. We'll eat in just a minute. Help me set the table. Anton, can you tell Frank to come down for dinner? He's been sulking in his room all day. Loud rock and roll music echoed down the hallway from his room. Caught a faint hint of cigarettes. Knock on the door, or open the door. The door was locked. Down the racket and opened the door. We're in Frank's room. Alright. He unlocked and opened the door. What do you want? Those records up louder next time, won't you? I don't think the neighbors heard. I'm your father and you'll respond when I ask you. Hand over those cigarettes. Join your family for dinner. I'm your father and you will respond when I... Sorry, Dad. I mean, father. It won't happen again. Frank headed downstairs to the dining room and I followed after. The table was prepared and Monica was ladling food in plates. Come on, have a seat. Won't be as tasty if it's cold. We started eating, the room went quiet. Monica's cooking was as delicious as ever, but I had the feeling that wasn't the reason nobody spoke. Monica was the first to break the silence. Hey, did you know that they refurbished the grocery store? Cares. I don't know if you remember the owner, but he's been there every day for the past 30 years. Can you imagine doing the same job for so long? What if you were president for 10 years, for example? Why not? We could live like kings. Monica measured me with her eyes for a moment. Anyway, the grocer's a really nice person. He threw in some extra vegetables with my... Frank suddenly slammed his hand on the table, rattling the china. We all stared at him. So this is how it's going to be? We're just going to sit here and act like nothing happened? Dad, you could have been killed. Mom could have been killed. Any one of us could have been killed. Deanna started whimpering. Monica put her hand on Frank's shoulder. Frank, you know I would never let anything happen to you or Deanna, even if it cost me my life. What would you have us do? And yet we are still alive. Do not raise your voice to me, young man. But it's the truth. Frank got up from his seat. Frank, sit down now. Frank took his seat again, scowling. No, it was a close call, but everything is under control. Don't worry, we're going to be fine. You think I'd let us go down so easy? Vito. Frank smirked. No. But it's not up to you, is it? Security assured me that they took all necessary steps. It was one rogue shooter. We were not even the target. Well, what if we were? Listen to your father. If your father says we don't need to worry, then we don't need to worry. We have to trust. Monica turned to me. We all have to trust each other. Things calmed down a bit at the table. Finished our food in silence. Frank got up first and retreated back to his room. Monica lifted Deanna up and plopped her in front of the living room TV before returning to the table. Sat down across from me. Anton, he is still young. You know, but there's not much longer we can shield him from the ugliness of the world. That's what worries me. Made plenty of rash decisions when I was his age. He's had every opportunity I never did. Why is he still acting out? Scared, Anton, and frankly, he isn't the only one. All you need to worry about is putting more delicious dinner on our table. Man, oh man. Frank. I mean, Anton. Monica frowned at me and left to join Deanna. Sat alone at the table and drained my glass of cabbage. Had I been lying to Frank, Indiana, was the threat to my family truly over? Time would tell. Look at all those newspaper articles we have to read. I think we're going to do that at the start of a fresh day here. I'm going to call this episode to a close. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you have any thoughts, leave those in the comment section down below. If you want to follow along with this Dick as he takes Sordland with him, wherever he happens to want to go, hit the subscribe, and we will see you for the next episode. Hey, 76NY saying thank you very much for watching, and have yourself a very good day.